Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball is ripe with the fruits of victory, so give me some skin. A tasty strawberry is picked and pruned to provide some healthy juice in the Big Apple. A peach of a pitcher finally gets bruised as a lemon tries to make the squeeze. Sour grapes turn suddenly sweet and grow into the grapes of wrath. A soft melon becomes sun-kissed and gets spoiled in avocado land. Life can be just a bowl of cherries with some plum cherry pickers in the field. From the pit to the pulp to the peel, orange, you glad we produce it for you all. Right here on This Week in Baseball. This Week in Baseball is brought to you by American League Stomp, an Oriole turnaround in Baltimore after a slow start. Manager Joe Altobelli was looking for better hands on defense, and he saw just that in a 3-game sweep of Texas. Also sought better bat production from more than just Cal Ripken, who stretched his hitting streak to 10 games by batting .400 against the Rangers. Ripken has held the only hot Baltimore bat, finishing April among the league leaders with 8 home runs, 18 RBIs, and an average above .350. Eddie Murray got 4 hits and 11 at-bats. They weren't powerful, but they found the right spots, and they drove in 6 runs. Murray also had 3 straight game winners, 2 of them to beat the Rangers. John Lowenstein got the other against Texas, his first of the year, and it came in the bottom of the 11th inning. Baltimore fans also applauded some pretty pitching. Storm Davis picked up his first win of the season with 8 strong innings in the finale. Scott McGregor squared his record at 3-3 by allowing just 1 run in 7 innings. And when the starters tired in all 3 games, the relievers followed their orders.
Sam, I figure you know this guy, but I'm not so sure that Rafe did or not. He's basically just a high fastball hitter coming off the bench. He'll stay down on the outside half and give me another one in the round balls. Okay? Come on, let's take this one home, man.
The request of pitching coach Ray Miller was granted by Sammy Stewart, who won his 3rd game in relief as the O's got back in the picture. In Detroit, every fan was treated to a picture that was close to perfect as the powerful Tigers continued to pounce on everybody. Parrish kept a tie game going in extra innings of the opener against visiting Cleveland. But in the top of the 19th inning, the Indians broke through. The Tribe scored 4 times to hand Detroit only its 2nd loss against 16 wins. But in Game 2, the Demons from Detroit struck back with a force. Jack Morris was once more master, going all the way and striking out 5 on a 3-hitter. The Cat already had a no-hitter this year, and he's gone 9 innings in 4 of his 6 starts to compile an ERA under 2. The win over Cleveland gave Morris a 5-0 start, his best ever. In the finale, Detroit was again blessed with good pitching and good hitting. Kirk Gibson got his 3rd game-winning hit, going 3 for 4 with 3 runs batted in. Trammell continued to ramble. At least one hit in each game and eventually a streak of 18, plus a batting average above 400, second best in the league. Dan Petrie supplied the pitching, improving his record to 3-1 with 7 strikeouts in 8 innings. Petrie baffled the Indians with a no-hitter through 7 innings, but his bid was broken up by George Vukovich with 2 outs in the 8th. No Detroit fan could quibble, though, as the Tigers remained great. In Kansas City, the Blue Jays of Toronto flew in for a pair and took both, as Royal fans saw one of the hottest hitters in the majors in Damaso Garcia. He went 4 for 9 in the 2 games to extend his hitting streak to 13 and keep his average above 390. Willie Upshaw stayed above 380 with a 2-run homer, number 6 this season, and it gave Upshaw his 3rd game-winning hit. Royal manager Dick Hauser didn't like the sight of Blue Jay pitching either. Dave Stieb tossed a 3-hit shutout, striking out 7 along the way for his 4th win without a loss this year. Stieb's performance enabled the Jays to maintain the 2nd-best record in the league, as they held on to 2nd place in the East and stayed within striking distance of Detroit. Now it's time for this week's Volkswagen quiz, brought to you by the 1984 models. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen. Oakland's Dave Kingman has been on a home run binge this year. Prior to '84, Kingman had blasted 336 homers in 14 big league campaigns. Now, in his first season with the A's, 35-year-old Kong cracked 10 home runs in April, just 1 shy of the major league record. For this week's quiz, can you name the players who share the mark for most home runs in April? Stay tuned for 3 sluggers of the 70s. National League lineup. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates faced a 3-game challenge from the swinging Chicago Cubs. Gary Matthews started swinging away after the Pirates took the opener. Sarge went 3 for 6 in the next 2 games, drove in 5 runs, and got his 3rd game winner of the season. Cub manager Jim Fry gave Matthews the go-ahead to try stealing home. It didn't work, but the play was a sign of Chicago's new spirit. Ryne Sandberg slumped early in the season, but he sizzled against Pirate pitching, 5 hits and 10 at-bats, plus his first game winner of the year. Ron Cey kept the Bucks at bay. The Penguin blasted a 3-run shot in Game 2 for his 4th homer of the season, and the Cubs took it handily, 7-1. Steve Trout went fishing for a win. He set the hook, and the Pirates took the bait. The line on Trout, just 1 run over 6 innings to reel in his 3rd victory against a single loss. Cub pitchers had a firm hold on matters. Scott Sanderson also went 3-1 for the year with a complete game 2-hitter. Lee Smith set his sights on save number 4 and got it as the surprising Cubs took the series to contend for the top spot in the East. In the West, San Diego is putting the pieces together, but the Dodgers were a nuisance on a 4-game visit. L.A. took the opener, and in Game 2, Rick Honeycutt was sweet as can be. Just 1 hit allowed over 6 innings to go 4-0 this year. Steve Yeager provided the only run of the game with his first home run of the year. It gave the Dodgers 6 straight victories. But the Padres scored the win in Game 3. thanks primarily to Steve Garvey, who went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs, including a second homer. Garvey also got game-winning hit number 6 this year. Andy Hawkins went 8 innings to earn the win and go 3-0. But in the final game, the Dodgers called out the infantry. Mike Marshall showed his muscle by tying for the league lead with his 7th home run, and it held up for Marshall's 4th game winner. San Diego's fate was sealed in the 9th inning when an error by Carmelo Martinez allowed 3 Dodgers to score. Alejandro Pena shut out the Padres for the 2nd time in 11 days for a 3-1 mark. The loss knocked San Diego out of first and put the Dodgers in. They were flipping their lids in Cincinnati, where the revitalized Reds sounded off in a 4-game sweep of San Francisco. It was mighty sweet music to new manager Vern Rapp, who was more than ready to conduct.
Well, you know, I was a manager for the Reds at Indianapolis for 7 years, and, you know, we have a great scouting system, a great development system, and when I got the opportunity and the offer, I was really excited because there's a lot of good talent here.
Like 24-year-old shortstop Tom Foley, who cracked his first Major League home run and got a game winner as well. Foley went 6 for 8 in 3 games against the Giants and drove in 4 runs. Dreesen hit .500 in the series. He slammed his 2nd home run of the year, too, and collected 3 RBIs. Dave Parker was also productive. 6 for 14 against the Giants to pull his average above 280. 32-year-old Parker feels reborn playing in his hometown.
As a kid, I always kind of dreamed of what it would be like to be a Red, and now that dream is fulfilled, and it's a new challenge. I'm dealing with a lot of young talent, a new organization, and it's a new beginning for me.
Cincinnati fans witnessed a fast beginning for Eddie Milner, who stole 3 bases in the series for a total of 9 this year. Fast Eddie also picked up his 3rd game-winning hit of the season. Bruce Berenier was in sharp focus, earning his first win with 9 strikeouts and 6 in the 3rd innings. Berenier was among the league leaders in strikeouts with 34. Joe Price was also on the money. He gave up just 1 run in 7 innings for a 2-1 record this year. The performance enabled Price to find the pitching groove that he'd been striving for.
If you're going right at the hitters and being aggressive, then you've got a chance to get into that groove. You know, things just start falling into place for you. You might have a couple of hard luck games like I had in the beginning of the year, but if you're consistent and aggressive each time out, you're going to win more than you lose, I think.
The Cincinnati sweep put the Giant losing streak at 7, and the Raging Reds rolled into 3rd place in the West. In New York, a banner day for Darryl Strawberry, who received his Rookie of the Year award.
Congratulations, Darryl.
The afternoon was billed as Strawberry Sunday, with every fan getting one, and it proved to be a most fruitful day for the Mets.
How sweet it is. How sweet it is.
That's a mouthful, Darryl. Strawberry then went out and got 2 hits and 3 at-bats as the Mets beat the Phillies 6-2 on their way to the Eastern Division lead. Last year, the Mets were 6-14 in April, but this season, 12-8. Strawberry spearheaded the revival with 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, and a batting average above .320. Now, let's revive the answer to this week's Volkswagen quiz. Philadelphia's Mike Schmidt is the most recent player to tie the Major League record for most home runs in April with 11. Schmidt smacked him in 1976. Greg Nettles is the only American leaguer to do it. He had 11 for the Yankees in April of 1974. Pittsburgh's Willie Stargell was the first major leaguer to connect on 11 long balls in the month. They came in the Pirates championship season of 1971. Hey, man, look out for that baseball and get ready to play a major league game of seek or go high. But it's not just the players who make the mistakes. At times, even the fans don't get any breaks. Now, that's some pretty scary play. But don't go flying away, because when big leaguers are hot, they're hot, even when they're not. Sometimes they'd rather join the fans, take a seat in the stands, or take any old seat, because watching this is mighty hard to beat. Now, let's see what's supposed to happen. Some first-rate stabbing, nabbing, and grabbing. At the top, San Diego's Luis Salazar. Los Angeles Dodgers' Steve Sachs, doubling them up. Detroit's Lou Whitaker. The Dodgers' Dave Anderson. Boston's Mike Easler. San Francisco's Fran Mullins. Gary Matthews, Chicago Cubs, out and over. Larry Herndon, Detroit Tigers. Milwaukee's Robin Yount. Cleveland's Otis Nixon. Minnesota's Tim Tupple. Steve Garvey, San Diego. The Twins' Tom Brunansky. St. Louis Cardinal, George Hendrick. The Giants' Manny Trio. And finally, California's Gary Pettis. A game box score is packed with so much information that a fan can virtually reconstruct the entire game. But big leaguers would like to see still other statistics included.
The big thing that I'd like to see in a box score is, say, for instance, you get bases loaded and a guy hits a fly ball right here in the infield, and a guy loses it in the sun, or two guys come together and it's you take it, nobody catches it, and 3-run score. You get charged 3 earned runs because of a base hit. Well, consequently, you know it's not a base hit, actually, but you get charged of it because that's the way that it is. You know, something like that should be made, a team error where you know it's an out, and we get credited for giving up 3 earned runs.
The guy that gives himself up 1 out of 4 at-bats and moves a runner for you, which eventually we score on a fly ball. Certainly we in management have to appreciate that, and we have to tell our general managers that, hey, this man's a lot more valuable than it appears with statistics.
Pitches blocked resulting in runs saved, whether the run be on first base or whether second base or third base. Depends on what the subsequent batters do. You know, if you get a man on first base, the next guy hits a double, and you've blocked a ball or 2 balls in between, then you've saved a run. I've had years where I've saved 260 or 70 runs that way.
A guy contributes with the defensive play of the game that saves your ball club from having a big inning. I think that might be a key.
A big factor that doesn't show up at the end of the year, say in a World Championship club, is you might have one guy that held. Maybe he was in 30 games, and in 20 of those games, he kept the team right where it was. And we ended up winning the game, and yet he gets no credit for it. And I think there should be a hold column.
How many times a guy warms up? No, we had some guys last year like Donnie Moore and Rick Camp. I mean, they had to lead the world in warm-ups, man. You know, halfway through the season, I think Rick Camp was up 421 times.
Game-winning RBI for 162 games with Mike Easler behind that game-winning RBI. Bloopers. I had a lot of them last year. One time I rounded third base and fell down halfway to home and never made it. And I think they ought to have bloopers.
Well, the last month and a half last year, my name was missing from most of the box scores. So if my name were added a few more times, I'd have some more money in my pocket, and I'd be a little bit happier.
Now it's time for the Big Stick Player of the Week Award, brought to you by new improved Old Spice Stick Deodorant and Antiperspirant. New York Met Jesse Orozco is this week's winner, striking out 5 of 6 Phillies he faced for his 4th save. He struck out the Philly side in the last frame for the 2nd time in 9 days. Hadn't allowed a run this year.
I believe I'm trying to do the job in my own way. I'm not going to try to be the kind of guy that growls at a batter, because I respect them as much as I feel they should respect myself. You know, every reliever has his own kind of way of doing something, and well, you've seen the way I've done mine.
A sight to see, Jesse. Congratulations. That's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.
Now you owe me.
Old Spice, an official sponsor of the U.S. track and field team.